Hi everyone, this is Mel here from UGStudios, Sydney, Australia, and we're at the Australian Toy Hobby and Licensing Fair. I'm here today with Craig Browne from Wildstone PKG.
Yep.
And he is an inventor and designer of board games, and he's done a few games for us, including Sorted Out, Pub Trivia, and the new
latest one, Hard Quiz. Yes.
So Craig, what does PKG stand for, by the way?
PKG stands for Productise, Kitify and Gamify.
Productise, Kitify and Gamify.
Yeah, but having worked in the toy and game industry for quite a long time, developing products, also have a background in education, so we tend to take the same things. Gamification works well as an education tool as well, as you would know. So bringing those things together and helping people package those things. But my favourite spot really is the toy and game industry.
It's the toy and game industry.
Yeah.
And so how long have you been in the toy and game industry? How long have you been doing this?
My very first game was in 1994.
Wow.
Called Compatibility.
Compatibility.
And we licensed that to Crown and Andrews.
Yep, okay.
In Australia. Jerry Crown was a big initiator of product in Australia.
Yeah.
And we licensed that and then through to Mattel. And that went right around the world and allowed us to pretty much leave what we were doing.
You sold about 500,000 copies of that.
500,000 of those.
That's an incredible number.
It was.
And that was your first game.
It was our first license game. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we thought that was going to. I mean, it was life changing because it allowed us to leave what we were doing. But it's a dog-eat-dog world out there, and so on.
Yeah.
But it's still going. It's still in a few markets around the world, in China and in France.
That's brilliant. And since then, you've done a lot of TV-based board games, such as Deal or No Deal.
Yeah, Deal or No Deal, and Price is Right.
Yeah.
Biggest Loser.
Yeah.
We did Bert's Family Feud.
Yes. Yeah.
Millionaire Hot Seat. We did that for you guys as well. Yeah.
Are there any particular challenges associated with creating board games from game shows?
So one of the things that happens with developing something when you're adapting a game that already exists. Good thing about a game show is there's already a game.
Yeah.
All right. It's not like taking something from a book where often you have to find plot points or find characters and use things. But with a game show, the game is there, but transferring what works on television to a family game is often a bit of a challenge. I mean, a TV game show like Hard Quiz, for instance, they always know they're going to start with 4 players. They can write all the questions beforehand. They can cut things out if they want to shorten or lengthen. They can have secret reveals.
They've got all the control.
Yeah, they have all the control.
What's going to happen on TV.
Yeah,
you don't have that control when you're putting a game into someone's house, I imagine.
No, and also they control their contestants that are coming on, make sure that they all are relatively even or whatever to make a good challenge. So in a board game, we need to look at the TV show. What's the key? What's the essence? In the case of Hard Quiz, it's kind of the idea that most of us know a lot about something and something about a lot. And Hard Quiz works on the idea that you can be an expert in whatever area that happens to be. But you can also be a bit of a general knowledge person.
Yeah.
So trying to bring that into into a board game is important. And how are you going to get that to work in a family situation without some of the benefits you can as a TV show?
You've got to think about that.
Yeah.
My next question was going to be based on trends, because there's so much going on here at the fair, and you've got to have a bit of a look around.
Yep.
Are you seeing any particular trends in board games at the moment?
So
Have things changed a lot since you?
So I walk. Thinking about it in the eyes of a game creator.
Yeah.
A key thing that is one of those things that I mentioned before is the accessibility to what you can make.
Yeah.
The prototypes that you can develop has changed a great deal.
Okay.
You're now in that position. You are in a position to source funding or source support in a way that you weren't before. I mean, we've seen plenty of successful Kickstarter products.
Campaigns, definitely.
Yep. You can source Alibaba online. You can go online and, I mean, to actually, I remember going to libraries and researching, or going to the Far East International Organisation and looking up these things, trying to find manufacturers to get an idea of, because that's a key thing. If you can find out, you can lift yourself above most game inventors as well by having
an understanding of production.
Can this be made for about how much? Guaranteed, whatever you find out, the game company itself can do it better or cheaper. but it's a start.
But to know where it's going to sit in the market as well,
Yeah.
from the point of production, the type of components it has, and
Yes.
that it's going to be able to sit on a shelf with these retailers,
Yeah.
and that makes it a commercial prospect.
Yes.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. So that's important. That's one of the things. Something that I think is a bit of a trend is there is a push, I think, towards compact.
Yep.
Compact kind of games.
Yeah.
That, I mean, there's plenty of room for bigger, more complex ones, but things that make us go, oh, that looks easy, that looks possible. We could take that out and put that on the table and play. And I think, and it's in this game as well, and it's in Sorted Out and things, I think there is a bit of a need at the moment for, and a bit of a sense of, games that play well fully and play well half as well.
Okay.
So does it feel good even if you don't completely play it the whole thing?
Yeah.
So you can play Hard Quiz great if you want to play the full game here, but you might, and trivia questions are like this, you might choose to just modify that a little bit and say, look, we're not going to do everything in detail, we're just going to go through some of the questions and give a little bit of a house rule and things. Or in Sorted Out, you can hold your paddle, have your dots, turn one over, not worry about scoring, but just
so
all have a bit of a go together.
You can have a fast game, you can have a short game, you can have a long game.
Yep.
It doesn't necessarily take up too much room.
Yeah, so when the whole family's getting
different
together
ways
to play it formally, they do. But if it's a group of people who've got a few wines and whatever else going as well, they might just say, look, let's just do some of these and it's fun. And I think that's a good thing to be building into products at the moment, is the opportunity.
So you're sort of saying varied gameplay, knowing your production costs, knowing that it's going to be able to be manufactured, knowing that it's accessible.
Find a bit about the industry as well.
And find out about the industry. That's some really great points there.
And then you've got to keep knocking. Don't give up. Yep. Find me, track me down. I've talked a bit. The reason we got into the toy industry, that we were successful ultimately, was not because of game companies. We wrote, well, sorry, that's going to sound wrong, but we wrote and sent proposals, and I remember we were basically thinking, well, we're sending you the best game idea ever.
Yeah.
How can you not be taking this? We gave up doing that, and in the end, it wasn't until we decided that we wanted to try to work out how we would put it on the market ourselves, that we suddenly realised that we were now not so much in love with our product, and it was more about where does it fit, how much will it cost, who would be likely to be the customers. It's not always you. Often a game you make up, probably almost always a game you make up, you like.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean anybody else does, and sometimes it's a bit hard to kind of see, well, maybe other people aren't going to like that.
So you have to be able to step away from it a little bit,
and
that's when your testing and your play testing comes.
And when you're trying to actually get it out there yourself and put real money into it.
Yeah.
You need that moment and you need that option.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much. I think you've given some brilliant tips there. One thing we are asking everybody at the fair, because we're all in the toy and games industry, and this may be a challenging question, but favourite toy or game as a child?
As a child?
Yeah. Something that you remember.
Wow. Mousetrap.
Mousetrap?
Yeah.
You're the second mousetrap.
I grew up in a family where we couldn't throw a frisbee without making rules. So there were 4 boys and a girl.
Oh, that's very interesting.
And just throwing it, we had to make up rules, boundaries, obstacles, scores, carryover scores from other games.
I can see why you ended up in inventing.
But I think what it was with Mousetrap is everybody loves those wacky races kind of style, that this hits that hits that does this, does it. And here was a game that did it. A game that I really like to play now, actually, that was actually, other than any of the ones that I would find in the new games area, is actually Rummikub. I found with my family that was a good one to bring out and let people string things together. But Mousetrap stays with me. I don't know what, I mean, it's crazy really, because there wasn't much of a game in it at all. It was pretty much a roll the dice and whatever, but it was just assembling that thing. Maybe it's kind of the engineering thing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. All right, well, thank you very much.
You too.
Craig Browne.